on canal lining. So what are canals? Canals are a subsection of the open channel flow only, in which water is transported from one place to another. That is, if there is a provision of a river, we are going to transfer the water from river to the fields for the purpose of irrigation. Okay, that is being done in our farms, in our agricultural lands in India. So for the irrigation projects we use canals. Okay, so the first thing that we need to know is that it is a type of open channel flow, and the second thing is that the flow is under gravity. Since it's an open channel flow, that means it is exposed to the atmosphere and it flows under a slope governed by the gravitational forces. Now we know that canals can have any shape. It can be irregular, it can be regular, it can have geometrical shapes like triangular shape, rectangular shape, circular, semicircular, or any kind of these shapes. Okay, so but the thing is that while flowing from one portion to another, there are certain losses. Okay, there are certain losses that can happen, and the banks maybe means the surface, the wetted perimeter can get eroded. So for that to not happen, okay, due to the currents that are flowing along with the water, due to some losses due to eddy currents and such, we provide a lining. We provide, suppose this is the channel, and we are going to provide a lining. We are going to provide a lining, say lining over here, so as to protect the channel from erosion. Okay, so that kind of losses we shouldn't have. So what is a canal lining? So this is the process of lining the canal, that is providing a protection layer over the canal using with different materials like cement, concrete, brick, boulders, asphalt, etc. So these are the materials that are going to be used while providing a lining. What are those? Cement, concrete, brick, boulder, asphalt, etc. So the canal lining is done using these materials. Now why do we provide canals? The first thing is that whenever we see that this is the canal, suppose if this canal is porous, okay, that means it allows for water to flow, then we see that water will seep through it and come out from the channel. Okay, if this is porous, that means it is allowing for the water to pass through it from the channel to another portion. Suppose this is the surrounding of the canal, then if this is porous, okay, what happens? Water comes out of the channel or canal, and then we will face some kind of losses. Losses means key. What we see is that the total capacity, suppose, was some 100 meter cube, but we will say that due to this loss, due to this seepage loss, it reduces. Okay, then at some places we can see that water is logged, that is water. To understand water logging, we have to understand the soil structure. So in geotechnical engineering, so far you have known that there are three phases of the soil. Okay, these phases are solid, liquid and gas. Okay, so whenever we talk about the three phase, we should know that the matrix is the soil. Okay, soil, which is the solid. Soil will cover the entire mass. Then there are voids in between these soil particles which can be taken up by water or air. So depending upon that, in a normal condition, we see that soil exists in three phase condition. So sometimes it may happen that the voids, जो खाली जगह है, the voids can be filled with air only, or it can be filled with water only. So then the three phase system reduces to two phase system, and this system in which only air is present in the voids and along with soil, that is soil and air, that is called as dry phase. Okay, and in which the voids are only filled with water, that is we have a soil and water phase, then it is known as saturated phase. So in water logging, what happens? Water logging, or we have plants. So these plants have roots in the soil. So what happens? Water logging Okay, water logging. That term itself is saying that water is getting logged mane it is getting logged mane it's kind of like locked. So that means ki hoise, in the water system, means in the soil system, the entire voids are being taken by water. Okay, so jetia water e loi loise, it so happens that the entire system gets saturated. Jetia saturated hoi goise with water. Okay, since water, etia rainy season, and what happens in rainy season, rain falls on the ground, and enekwa ki flood situation ha. In those kind of situations, when water is getting logged in the soil system we see that the entire plant root system gets damaged because of too much of water. So that condition is called water logging. So when our canal is flowing, if this kind of situation happens, okay, if this kind of situation happens in which plant root system are getting damaged, then it becomes a problem. Okay, so conveyance or jodi, if we are conveying water from this portion to this portion, and in between there are other fields also, and jodi yate we see that water is getting logged because of seepage and because of water retention, then these surrounding areas will have a problem. Okay, surrounding areas, fields which have trees and plants, they will face a problem related to that. So that happens. So first one was seepage, second one was water logging, third one is the capacity. Suppose I have to transport 100 meter cube of water, and means suppose the field is demanding me to deliver 100 meter cube of water, that is the capacity. Okay, that is the demand, and I need to supply that much amount of water. So then only the demand will be met. Now if we see that if there is the seepage and losses of water, okay, then we see that this 100 meter cube reduced somewhere to 70 meter cube. Do you think that it will be okay? Do you think it will be okay? 100 pothabo lage and we are only sending 70. So we are actually not sending 70. The system, the canal itself lost 30 meter cube out of the 100 meter cube. So ultimately the result that is being supplied, that is 70 meter cube only. So for this thing to not happen, we provide lining. Okay, so command area is what? Okay, to increase the command area. Next is to increase the command area. So command area is, suppose we have this much area of this much area of soil, means of fields that needs to be irrigated, but it is yet 70 gole. What happens if 70 goes? Then out of the entire field we are only able to complete this much portion only. So what happens, jodi if no losses are happening in the conveyance, we see that 100 meter it will irrigate the entire field, that is the command area. Okay, command area means in which it is being supplied. So simply it's being irrigation or term hoy, simply you just remember that the area that needs to be irrigated increases if we provide lining. Okay, so then the next point is to protect canal from damage by floods. Okay, so what happens, etia amar, these are the, suppose, let me use another color, suppose this is the canal. Okay, and this canal is being lined. Now what happens when flood comes? It floods the entire area. Okay, it floods the entire area. So we see that if our canal is lined, it will protect the inside water that is conveyed through the canal, and it will not mix up with the flood water. Okay, so flood which can cause damage now will not be able to damage the canal because of the lining. We are protecting it with these materials: cement, concrete, brick, boulder, asphalt, etc. So also what happens whenever we use suppose say materials like soil to make these natural canals. Sometimes when we encounter natural canals, these are made up with soil. So soil and water, what will happen, it will give rise to plants. Okay, so some of these plants are unwanted plants and some of these are weeds. Okay, weeds, different kinds of small grassy plants that can grow. Okay, so these growths are also minimalized when we use linings, say cement, concrete lining, brick lining, boulder, asphalt. Whenever we use these materials, we can safely mitigate the chances of this growth of grassy plants. Okay, so this much was it on the object of canal lining. Now let us move on to the next topic, that is the types of lining. So far, based on the materials used, we have come to know that there are cement, concrete lining. Okay, cement and concrete is the material that is being used in this lining. Shotcrete lining, it is also somewhat similar. Precast concrete lining, okay, precast, that is being made beforehand in factories. So precast lining, concrete lining. Cement mortar, cement is used and mortar is used. Okay, cement mortar, that is cement and sand. Brick lining, bricks are used. Stone masonry lining, stones are used. Asphalt lining, that is asphalt is used, a component of bitumen. Bentonite clay lining, bentonite is a type of clay. Okay, so it has a nature in means it shows a behavior of sticking. So bentonite clay has this very good plasticity property to it. So ki hobo, whenever we see any kind of excavation, so that soil does not subdue, we use bentonite clay to stabilize these sides of the excavation. Bentonite is used for that. It is also called as drilling mud. Drilling mud mane drill koribo, drill korute we use this mud to stabilize the sides, so that it does not, means the excavation does not cave in, bhitorle kumai jote na jay. Then we have boulder lining. Obviously boulder is the bigger stones, the size of which is greater than 300 mm. Then we have lime concrete. Obviously you know what is lime. Okay, calcium carbonate. And then soil cement lining. Soil, when mixed with cement and with addition of water, it gains strength. So these are the different types of linings that can be used. Depending upon that, we can classify that this is a cement concrete lining, this is a asphalt lining, and so on.